So it looks like we're going to get the fight. It looks like all the talk wasn't just talk. And look, I'll be the first to admit that I thought it was, man. I came out and I said that this was a fight that wasn't going to happen. I was like, there's no way in the world Oscar De La Hoya is signing off on Ryan Garcia taking this fight. I get it, Ryan Garcia in the ring. He's standing on the mic right now. He just got this big win. He makes a call out. Man, everybody talks big when there's a microphone in their face. I get it. That's kind of standard. I didn't really take it that seriously. I didn't really think that the day was going to come in the very near future when we were going to see this fight. And I'll also say that this isn't official. We can look all over social media and we can see the posts. We saw Gervonta Davis put it up. We saw Ryan Garcia put it up. We saw WBC Boxing put it up. We saw all kinds of ESPN and commentary and this and that. And all kinds of people are talking about how the fight's going to happen now. It's technically not official. Do we have an official date? Do we have an official venue? Are the tickets? Do we know when the tickets are going to be on sale? We don't know any of those things yet, right? But this is about as official as a fight can get without the fight actually being quote unquote official, right? I mean, all of these people are coming out and saying it. Seems to be that this is much more than speculation, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. This seems to be like this is the fight we're going to get. I don't even remember where I read it, but I heard that it was going to be April. Gervonta Davis comes out and says, hey, I'm going to have a tune-up fight January 7th, and then you're going to back up the Brinks truck. We're going to make it done deal. This is the biggest fight that can possibly happen. It's going to be, I think they were saying summer, maybe spring, whatever, but think about that roughly, that kind of a timeline. So it looks like we're going to get it, right? I mean, and it's an awesome fight in a lot of ways. But the reason I said that this fight wasn't going to happen was because I said Ryan Garcia is a cash cow, man. Make no mistake about it. This dude is huge. He's through the roof. Go ahead and just check out his social media. Look at the amount of buzz that he generates. This dude's massive. And if there's one thing that I know about boxing, it's that fans are fickle. So you're out there and you're on the absolute tippy top peak of the mountain one day. And then you just go out and get one loss, and that knocks you down a little bit. You go out and get another loss, knocks you down a little bit. Right now, you're far off from where you were. You're generating a lot less money. You're just not able to make the moves. You're not able to pick the fights. You're not necessarily the A side going into every fight. Things change in the blink of an eye. Boxing is a fickle sport that way, man. It's not how it is in every sport. Imagine if that's how they treated NBA players. Imagine how they treated football players. Dude, MMA doesn't even treat their fighters like that. Every fighter in MMA, for the most part, other than a rare few, got losses on their records. And when guys get it, it's still pretty much good to go. Guys go and win the belt with multiple losses on their records. Nevertheless, that was number one. Ryan Garcia is a cash cow, and this is a very fickle sport. Number two, I don't know what the odds are going to be going into this fight, but I have to imagine Ryan Garcia is not going to be the favorite. He shouldn't be the favorite, and I imagine that he won't be the favorite, right? The reason for that is Gervonta Davis is the more skilled fighter. So why is a guy like Oscar De La Hoya or anybody else who's involved with Ryan Garcia's team looking at taking a guy like Ryan Garcia, who's still incredibly young, incredibly popular, massively bright future in front of him? He's going out there, he's smoking guys that they're putting in front of him. Why are they going to match him up against a guy like Gervonta Davis at this point in his career? I understand why Ryan Garcia wants to do it, but why is the team going to do it? Why are they signing off on it? Why are they putting this out there? Now look, you can make the argument that they're doing it because it's a huge fight to be made. There's huge money. And that if they start to make fights like this in boxing, it's going to catch on. Fans are really going to enjoy it. And this is how you're going to actually change fans' behavior. This is how you're going to change the attitude. And I'm all for that. And I agree with that perception 100%. And it takes a lot of courage to go out there and be some of the first guys to do it. Right? Just like it took a lot of courage for Teofimo Lopez to jump out there against Lomachenko. Right? It takes a lot of courage for these young guys to put undefeated records on the line against big name guys where it's a 50-50 fight, if not worse odds, if you're in Ryan Garcia's shoes in this scenario. To go out there and put that all on the line and do that, man. And congratulations. Man, my hat is off to him for not ducking the fights. Do I need to bring it up again? How many times do I need to bring up Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, man? The fight that we've been wanting forever that seems like it's right there and all of a sudden, once again, it just disintegrates right in front of us. Right? That's what we've become accustomed to as boxing fans. That's what we've become used to. Just talk fights that are talked about, fights that we wish for, fights that would just be amazing. We talk about it for years and years and years and years, and we never get them. And then maybe one day, finally, we do get them when both men are far past their prime. So when we look at it now and we see these two young guys going in here and signing off on a fight of this magnitude, how can you not be excited about it? But make no mistake about it. Ryan Garcia still got those flaws in this game. The flaws that I mentioned, if he was going to step in there against a guy like Gervonta Davis, those flaws still exist. All right, so let's just, you take a quick peek at it and you think, is Gervonta Davis going to be the best fighter that Ryan Garcia has ever faced? Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. Gervonta Davis is going to have the highest ring IQ, probably going to be the most powerful fighter, probably going to be the most crafty fighter. He's going to be the guy who's got the best offense, most power. Like he's just, overall, just 100%, he's going to be the best fighter that Ryan Garcia has ever faced. Is Ryan Garcia going to be the best fighter that Gervonta Davis has ever faced? I think that's debatable. I mean, honestly, I don't think he is. Certainly not in his prime. I mean, when Yuriorkis Gamboa was in his prime, was he a better fighter than Ryan Garcia is right now? You got to ask yourself that question. Right? So you look at a few things like this. I get it. Yuriorkis Gamboa wasn't in his prime when Gervonta Davis fought him. That was Gervonta Davis' step-up fight, right? That was he when he was the young gun. He was the young lion. He was getting there and against the older guy who was far past his prime. He's past his ideal weight class and all those types of things. So he goes in there. But even at that advanced age, Yuriorkis Gamboa brought a lot to the table. So let's look at it this way. Was the Gamboa who fought Gervonta Davis better than the Luke Campbell that fought Ryan Garcia? Was he better than the Javier Fortuna who just fought Ryan Garcia? Think about that for a second. Because we saw Luke Campbell drop Ryan Garcia, right? We saw him hit him with that left hand. We saw him put him down. It's because Ryan Garcia keeps his chin in the air. He still does. What's Gervonta Davis going to do against a Ryan Garcia who keeps his chin in the air? I mean, Ryan Garcia's got a very good jab when he decides to use it, right? Very fast, very quick, very spear-like. He can get it out there. He can snap your head back with it. But is it what you would call an educated jab? Does he use it in a very crafty way? Does he use it to maintain the distance he needs? Can he use it defensively if he's backing up, trying to break your pressure and your rhythm? Can he use it to break up your right hand? Can he use the double jab to break up the right hand? Can he go to the body with it really well? I don't think it's an educated jab. Does he have great timing with it? I don't think it's an educated jab. Now, what about the right hand? Super fast, super powerful, right? We saw him just snap Javier Fortuna's head back multiple times in that fight that we saw with him. But is it the type of right hand that you're going to keep Gervonta Davis honest with, right? Gervonta Davis is a southpaw. What's the main weapon that you're going to be using against the southpaw? Right hand, right? Okay, we're not talking about Juan Manuel Marquez and the way he's able to use the left hook against the southpaw like we saw against Manny Pacquiao. We're talking about the majority of fighters going in there against southpaws. The fight they're going to use, the punch they're going to use is the right hand. So when I think about Gervonta or Ryan Garcia's right hand, is it going to be enough to keep Gervonta Davis honest? Is that going to be the power shot that keeps Gervonta Davis from coming in when he wants to get too aggressive? Is that going to be the power shot that puts him down? Should he move around a little bit too much? Should he become a little bit too flat-footed? Should he overextend and reach a little bit too much? Is that going to be the one that he's worried about? I don't see that happening because Garcia's got the speed on it. He's got the power on it. But again, I don't think the timing is good enough. I don't think he mixes it up well enough. I don't think he hides it well enough. I don't think he sets it up well enough. It's good, but it's not great. Now, what about the left hook? I'll be the first to admit the left hook's awesome. That left hook's the primary weapon, and it's the primary weapon for a reason. When he goes out there and he hits guys with it, he hurts them. He hits him upstairs, he hurts him. He hits him to the body, he hurts him. Very good timing on it. He can come forward with it. He can back up with it. He can lead with it. He can use it as a counter. He can do whatever he wants with that, right? He'll shoot the right hand out there almost as a jab, very non-committal, just to be able to really lean into that left hook and try and get some real leverage on it. I get all that, and Gervonta Davis is going to have to watch out for it. But if we're talking about Gervonta Davis really, truly only having to worry about the left hook, what does that mean? Now, does Ryan Garcia have great footwork? No, he's a flat-footed fighter. He wants to get off his shots. So we got a guy who's flat-footed, who keeps his chin in the air, pulls straight back from punches. Those are some deadly flaws, in my opinion, when you're fighting a guy like Gervonta Davis. Because Gervonta Davis is very crafty. I don't think he's given credit for that, right? Like, I'm not saying that he's as crafty as like a 35-year-old veteran who's a multiple-time world champion in multiple weight classes. You know, don't take what I'm saying out of context necessarily. But for the age the man is, the accomplishments that we've seen as he's continually moved up, as we've seen him fight these guys, as we've seen him deal with multiple styles. Think about the power and the size and the aggression that we just saw him deal with in his last fight against Rolly Romero. Like, all the different things that he's been able to do, all the knockouts that he's been able to score, the way that he now comes in, the way he uses his feints, the way he switches up the speed of his punches. That's another thing about Ryan Garcia. Just let me go back for a second. The man doesn't switch up the speed of his punches. Now you may say, why would he want to switch up the speed of his punches? He's got incredibly fast hands. Throw them with full speed and power all the time. Because this isn't the amateurs, that's why. So no matter how fast your hands are, if you're always throwing your punches at the same speed, an experienced fighter is going to be able to time them. And that's what Gervonta Davis is going to be able to do. Look, have we ever seen him time a guy's right hand? Sure. Remember when he almost tore Santa Cruz's head off with that uppercut up against the ropes? Santa Cruz threw that right hand 3 times. That third time, he almost got decapitated. Right? Gervonta Davis has got timing. He's got ring IQ. He understands these things. He knows how to use feints. He knows how to switch up the speed. He knows how to work angles. He knows how to come forward. We've seen him go backwards. So I think it's going to be, a handful, to say the least, for Ryan Garcia. As the fight gets a little bit closer, things become official. Gervonta Davis moves past this tune-up fight that he's got in January. I'll start to actually really truly break down some film. But when you look at it, just off a first glance, the eyeball test, when you think about these past fights and you watch some of them, I find it hard to believe that a man who keeps his head up and back straight up is going to be able to see a lot of success against a guy like Gervonta Davis. Man, Tank is just something else, and I get it. It's 136 pounds too. Ryan Garcia said he wanted to move up, said that weight cut was nasty. I get it. He's a bigger guy. So he's going to be taller and he's going to be longer going into this fight and everything. But now you're talking about potentially a weight train? Said he couldn't make 135. He's coming all the way down for this massive fight, massive payday at 136. Probably still going to be tough. How's he going to handle that pressure and that aggression, man? What's going to happen when Tank opens up on him? What's going to happen if Tank edges him with a nasty straight left to the body and then comes upstairs and counters, some kind of weak jab or weak right hand with a nasty left uppercut? How's Ryan Garcia? We saw how he handled some of that pressure. We saw how he handled adversity against Luke Campbell. I think it's going to be a different kind of pressure and a different kind of adversity when he's stepping in there against Gervonta Davis. So, fascinated to see the fight. No matter how this one turns out, my hat's off to both men. Standing ovation for being so young. Careers being, quote unquote, technically vulnerable. I don't feel that way about it, but when you think about how fans have typically reacted, potential money that you may be leaving on the table by walking away with a loss, and they both said, forget it, man. I'm going out there. I'm making this happen. And I hope that, and I would say this about everyone, even though we haven't seen it yet, but you got to hope that it just starts this avalanche of guys going out and making these big fights. So let me know what you think. Are you as excited about this one as I am? God forbid that we see a loss in between on Gervonta Davis in between now and then because he's overthinking this fight and this one gets canceled. But let's just keep our fingers crossed. Let's say there's no problems. There's nothing happens in training camp. There's no injuries. And we get this fight by both men. How excited are you for it? How do you think it's going to play out? What do you think we're going to see from each one? Is this going to be the best Ryan Garcia ever? Now that he's got multiple fights, training with Joe Goosen. Will that not matter? Because Gervonta Davis is just a better fighter anyways. Let me know what you guys think.